Good morning, good afternoon, guys. It's us. We're back for another Geek Tavern. I'm joined with Mike.
Yo.
And Aaron.
What up?
As always. And it's me, Sean, again. I am a little sick right now, so I'm going to start off with an apology. That's why I sound as stupid as Aaron usually does right now, so we're just going to try and work our way through this. But, yeah, if you hear me coughing or, a wayward sneeze or blowing of the nose, I apologize for that in advance, but we decided to work our way through.
You know, I hear coronavirus is contagious through listening to someone else cough, too.
Yeah, so I hope you're all wearing your masks. But what have you guys been watching recently? I've just been watching Star Wars Rebels. Like, I'm almost finished. I'm on the last season.
Oh, wow. I actually picked up Doctor Who again. I had bought series, I think it's 11. I picked it up when it came out like last year sometime. And I got through like 7 episodes and thought that there was like, I don't know, 13-ish. I think that used to be the kind of their number. Well, now there's only 10, so I only had 2 episodes of that season. I'm like, I wish I would have knew that a year ago. But so I just went on. The latest season is on BBC America, like the app. You just sign in with your Xfinity. Yeah, I just picked that back up. I started, as we're going to talk about later, the Clone Wars final season. Yeah, other than that, that's pretty much all I've watched.
I am, believe it or not, still trucking through Star Trek The Next Generation, which I know I've continued to say this, but...
How many seasons are there?
There are 7 seasons to Star
okay.
Trek The Next Generation, so I am still... I think I'm on the
How many
end
per
of
season?
5. Oh, there's like 20 some.
Okay, one of those shows.
Yeah.
But
I thought that's what it was.
I've been going back and forth between Next Gen and Picard. So I know I'm still missing some stuff when I watch Picard, but I'm getting the gist of it from
probably just minor little Easter eggs.
Yeah, and Next Gen, like, I really enjoy watching it. It has some really good storylines and everything. But it's one of those shows where I'll watch like 2 episodes of it and then fall asleep during the 3rd episode, and then my Netflix shuts off after that. So hopefully I'm not falling asleep during episodes that are important, because I'm not going back and rewatching 7 seasons of it just to get those last couple episodes.
Now, Next Generation is the one with Reading Rainbow guy, right?
Yes, LeVar Burton as a lieutenant.
He was always my favorite character because he was on Reading Rainbow.
Geordie LaForge, who's head of engineering on the Enterprise D.
Is he still alive?
He is. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, I believe all the cast is still alive from Next Generation.
Oh, okay.
Will Wheaton's actually going to be at Steel City Con in April.
Who's the big bumpy forehead guy?
Worf.
Yeah.
Worf, the Klingon.
He was at Steel City Con a year or 2 ago, actually.
Head of security on the Enterprise. Also Lieutenant Commander Worf.
Also my second favorite character.
Sean and I, funny story, Sean and I almost took down Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner at a Steel City Con.
Yeah, we almost ran him over.
I forget what happened, but Sean and I said something to him about somebody in the crowd or something. We both started laughing uncontrollably, like doubled over, and didn't realize that walking right towards us was Jonathan Frakes and Brent Spiner, who were Commander William Riker and Lieutenant Commander Data on Star Trek The Next Generation. And like, I can't remember who was on either side, but like, we got up and we're like, sorry. And Brent Spiner's like, no, it's okay. And like, I turned around and I was like, do you know who that was?
But there's been a lot of stupid Star Wars news recently. Just even more stupid news that came out this morning. I don't know if you've heard this.
I don't think I've heard this.
So the original stupid news was that Emperor Palpatine on Exegol in The Rise of Skywalker is a clone. And then just this morning, there was a clarification of Rey's father, because we know that Rey's father was a descendant or whatever of Palpatine. And it turns out that he was a failed clone of Palpatine.
So what we saw wasn't even what we needed to see.
Yeah, so Rey is the daughter of a failed clone of Emperor Palpatine.
So it's not actually her grandfather.
No, technically not.
Yeah, technically it's her father.
Yeah,
Technically, yes.
Do you think that they did?
Sweet baby Jesus.
Do you think that they did that because people got like grodied out by the thought of Emperor Palpatine getting down and dirty with someone?
I don't even care. Like you and I said, Sean, before, like when people were asking questions and they're like, "Well, who did Palpatine bang?" And we're like, "Just leave it up to the imagination. Like it's like Game of Thrones. Like Robert Baratheon had like however many illegitimate kids that they killed." Like, it's not unheard of that the Chancellor would have had some affair or something, tricked somebody.
I mean, it could have been before he was disfigured.
Yeah, that's true.
I think.
Could have been right before he got, like, disfigured.
Yeah.
And stuff. But, like, even when you see him in the movie, you're like, I thought back to it and I was like, that dude didn't look like Palpatine.
No, he didn't at all.
No. I was like, that's not a clone. I was like, are you trying to make me think that that's a younger Ian McDiarmid? Like, what Star Wars needs to do is stop confirming things. Just stop. You butchered the last Rise of Skywalker. Don't butcher it any further. Like, I was fine with believing that Emperor Palpatine on Exegol was the original Palpatine who left, planted a clone that people would be like, oh, he's our emperor and everything. And everyone is just completely oblivious to that's not the original Palpatine. The original Palpatine is on Exegol building this secret fleet because he can foresee everything that's going to happen, which is a good... back up. Not good, a better plot line. Because when you see him and he's all like decrepit and falling apart, you're like, oh, he's ancient. He's like 120 years old. Yes, no duh, he's falling apart and he's hooked up to these apparatuses.
That's what I thought originally.
Yeah.
I thought that the one on Exegol was like the original Palpatine, and then the one that died in Episode 6 was just like a clone.
Well, yeah, because Palpatine,
because he got
technically
vaporized.
Well, he would technically be how old?
About 120 is what
really?
is what the math that I ended up doing.
Okay.
But like, you think about it that way. He's like 120 and you're like, oh yeah, he's ancient.
Basically, the Force is keeping him alive.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or his Force ability is keeping him alive.
That made sense. I was like, oh, okay, like, this is the original Palpatine. He's like ancient and stuff like that. Cool, that's an unheard of like thing in that story arc. And then they're like, no, he's actually a clone. And it's like, oh, well, that sucks.
Yeah,
because I don't care about that.
Yeah, and why would a clone look like an Alzheimer's patient? Like he was blind and had like...
No, yeah. Did you hear about why that was?
No.
Because the clone had rapid deterioration because all of the Sith being within him and his essence, the clone body... because it was a copy, it wasn't his original form, it couldn't handle that much power, so it started falling apart.
Oh, that's so stupid.
And they were trying to keep it together, and I'm like, okay, that shittily explains away the fact that you tried to fix something and it backfired on you. But I was just like, I hate that part of it. But then when I found out that her dad is a failed clone, I was like, that's even dumber.
I told Aaron this. I'm getting tired of Disney J.K. Rowling their own stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know how J.K. Rowling is like, oh, by the way, this is actually how this was. It's like,
you're the viewer were Palpatine the whole time.
they're ironically George Lucasing their own stuff.
Yeah.
Where George Lucas would go back and redo stuff. He's like, oh, this is how I originally wanted it.
Right.
It's like, you're fucking it up. You're fucking ruining what you had in the first place.
And not only that, you're fucking it up like 2 months after the movie has come out. Like, you've gotten the hate and you understand what people didn't like about it. Like, I feel like they understand, like, they are sitting there like somebody like at a complaint department and they go, oh, and then they push a button to unleash more shit into it and they're like, that's better, right? And we're like, no, it's even worse.
They're too busy like trying to fucking put their eggs back in the basket that they don't even care.
To kind of...
Star Wars is dead. I'm just going to say it.
To kind of play devil's advocate, not that I'm okay with any of this, per se, but in the Clone Wars, because I haven't seen very much of it, isn't it a thing that the clones, like some of them, will deteriorate like faster?
There are like bad,
because like some of them are like gray and like
no. Like I totally understand what they said about the clone of Palpatine's deterioration. I buy that.
Yeah.
I just don't like it as much as what I perceived as the original that as a story point made more sense to me than him being a clone. Because I was like thinking, I'm like, okay, he's like in Battlefront 2. I know a lot of people who are just moviegoers and go see the Star Wars movies aren't going to play Battlefront 2 or play the story. But there's a thing called Operation Cinder, in which the Emperor had all these fail-safes set up. Destroy the base on Jakku, destroy the bases here, blah, 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 blah. And it was all told by these like messengers of the Empire, where they were these dudes or droids, I forget what they were, but they wore like red cloaks and they had these helmets.
I'm pretty sure they were droids.
Yeah, they had like a Daft Punk helmet that projected the Emperor's face and talked to the higher up commanders. When I watched The Rise of Skywalker, I was like, that might just actually be him, like, just saying, like, hey, do this. I'm over, like, not telling them, I'm over here building a fleet, so it's all good. Make sure the shit just gets wiped under the rug.
That actually
I'm coming back.
That makes a lot of sense, actually, because instead of it being, like, some weird way how he pre-recorded these responses or whatever, it might actually be him just like video chatting over to the face.
Yeah, and nobody knows it.
Yeah.
But that's why I liked that. That was one thing about The Rise of Skywalker that I liked, where I was like, oh, if this is the original Palpatine, that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Right.
So I was like, I don't.
Bringing up what you said about the people not like us that are going to not get the Star Wars news through anything but the movies.
My dad, literally.
Yeah, they aren't gonna get this news.
Yeah.
So like, you're not helping your movie for the general audience.
You're literally pissing off the people that read into this.
Yeah,
stuff.
You're biting the hand that feeds you.
Yeah,
because they're trying to make things better, but they're only making things worse.
That's what I mean. Like,
and the only people that give a fuck are the people that are gonna hear the news. Like, a bunch of regular people aren't gonna like scroll on Facebook and be like, "Oh, guess the Emperor was a clone to her." Like, they don't care. They're not gonna know.
Yeah, like you're not gonna go sit at a bar and overhear somebody go, "Did you hear the Emperor's a clone?"
Yeah, no one cares.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear somebody doing that. Like, that's the best thing that came to mind. In fact, I think I put it in our group chat. Was the gif from The Simpsons of them going, stop, he's already dead. Like, that's how I felt about The Rise of Skywalker. I'm like, quit trying to fix the broken shit, because you're only making it worse. Like, you're taking a broken glass that you hot glued together and throwing more shards of glass in the drink that I'm trying to drink. Like, you tried to fix it, but now you're just trying to kill me. Like, that's the way that I look at it, is they need to just stop.
As much as I agree with all of this, I'm just the kind of person that I'm like, well, it is what it is.
No, it is.
I'll enjoy what we have, you know?
No, and like, I was just telling somebody about...
Because I'm actually really excited to buy Rise of Skywalker and actually watch it.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited to rewatch it.
Yeah.
To see how I feel about it a couple months after. Because, like, there's stuff that stands out to where I'm like, I don't like that. But maybe if I watch it again, I'll be like, it's okay. I accept Rise of Skywalker for what it is. It has a lot of flaws to it.
Oh, yeah.
I accept it for what it is. I was just telling somebody today who hadn't seen the movie and they didn't care about spoilers. And I was telling them a couple of things. And I was like, you know what? I was like, there were a couple really cool parts to the movie. It didn't make up for the fact that the rest was a jumbled mess, but they made up partially. Like, the Force Bridge duel, her handing Ben the lightsaber, stuff like that. Like, Han and Ben's interaction. I was like, that's stuff that I remember that I was like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just because the rest of the movie didn't do it for me doesn't mean that there weren't good parts of the movie. But I think that Disney just needs to fucking stop. I don't
want to get too far into it because I don't
confirmation.
I don't know enough information to like start this debate or to defend what I'm gonna even say, but like I know certain YouTubers have said like Kathleen Kennedy needs to be fired.
She does. No, she definitely does. She was the right person at the right time when they handed it over, because there really was nobody else who could handle that type of responsibility. Kathleen Kennedy helped produce the Indiana Jones franchise. She produced E.T. Anything that Spielberg or Lucas touched, she was there. So I understand why they appointed her as that person.
Yeah.
However, she does not have the... Like I said, she was a producer. She's not a writer. She's not a storyteller. She should not be in creative control of all of that. That needs to be relinquished to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to keep her as president, go for it. But relinquish creative control to somebody like Dave Filoni, who knows the lore.
Or Jon Favreau.
Yeah, or Jon Favreau. Somebody who knows the lore, somebody who's not going to fuck it up.
Or even like a team of people. Not a team of people, but like maybe Dave Filoni and Favreau.
Stick them both together. Look what they did with
Mandalorian.
Yeah, I don't know why I couldn't just roll that off the tongue.
Too many things.
But look at Mandalorian. Like, great. You know, they didn't... a YouTube channel Sean and I watch do this thing where it's like remember this? Mandalorian hasn't done that where they're just like, remember this?
Except for Tatooine.
They did it a little bit.
Yeah, except for that episode. That episode was kind of just
that was very much that, but
but they didn't like the aliens in the show. They didn't like shoehorn them in and be like, remember Greedo's race? Here he is, you know, and do stuff like that where like Dave Filoni and Favreau know what they're doing. They should be the ones to carry it on, because right now there's no rebuilding the sequel trilogy.
Oh no,
you can't do anything past.
Basically, they need to be done with the Skywalker. I mean, or even the Rey story now.
Yeah, Rey should have buried herself in the sand on Tatooine.
Buried herself.
Yeah, like SpongeBob in that episode where he like gets in, like, pulls the sand up over himself. That's what Rey should have done.
We didn't even talk about the most heinous news about the the kiss between Kylo Ren and Rey.
Okay,
was a non-sexual kiss. It was a
kiss of gratitude.
Yeah,
is what they
hold
said.
on. Yeah, kiss of gratitude and appreciation. Let me find this.
Yeah, kiss of gratitude and appreciation.
My reaction is that meme guy where he's just like
a kiss.
He like shakes his head.
A kiss of gratitude, acknowledgement, and their connection celebration.
Acknowledgement.
Yeah, like okay.
So the whole Last Jedi wasn't sexual tension?
No, apparently not. Apparently it was all gratitude.
Again, they're doing that because
people hated that.
Well, people hated Reylo.
I don't even.
I actually ended up liking it.
I didn't care.
I like it personally, but they did it because technically they're cousins, and that's gross. So they didn't want that to be like.
Are they cousins?
Essentially,
we went through this. I can't. Yeah, because. Is it confirmed that Palpatine actually made Anakin or whatever?
That's something that you would have to ask Charles Soule, who wrote those comics.
Right.
Which I will ask him if I talk to him.
The implication is that they are cousins. For people like us.
Right.
That would know that stuff.
Right.
But either way.
The people that are going to dig into it.
But as one of our friends said, you don't get a birthday card, open it up, and find a check and go, thanks, Grandma, and open mouth kiss her. Like,
yeah, it was a very passionate kiss. So it's not a kiss of gratitude and acknowledgement.
No, and that's like...
I've never been like, thank you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
we've been saying thank you all wrong.
Yeah, we've been doing it wrong.
Yeah, we're going to spread coronavirus like crazy.
Thank you, Disney. You've done this.
We'll just force heal it away. It's okay.
Yeah. No, like, that is something that, as soon as I read it, I was like...
it just baffles my mind that...
So basically what you're saying is, for me, don't ever read the damn novelization.
No. How do you take a movie that is so controversial to the point where the majority is just like, it was disappointing, to where you just ruin it further with your novelization, where you go, fix this. And then, like, I think the analogy that I used earlier is, like, you fall and scrape your leg, and you're like, man, this sucks. And then somebody comes up to you, and they're like, are you okay? And you're like, yeah. And they're like, that's cool. Your parents died 5 seconds ago. And you're like, wow, that just made it way, way worse.
It's almost like somebody was sitting in a board meeting, was like, how can we piss people off more?
Yeah, how can we lose our entire stock in Lucasfilm?
They're so out of touch with what people want. It's crazy to me. It literally boggles my mind that somebody would come up with an excuse like that it's a kiss of not passion but like friendship or whatever.
I say that's
it?
I don't know.
I say that's worse than any of the Palpatine stuff.
Yeah, it is terrible.
No, it definitely is. The Palpatine stuff, but like,
I mean, the Palpatine stuff is frustrating, but I can
it's
honestly accept most of it.
no, I can get behind a lot of the Palpatine stuff. It's the kiss of gratitude that I'm like, yeah. No,
it's not believable at all.
No.
It's simply not.
my eyes do not.
I won't
compute.
have it. No, but I mean, like, that's the thing. They do this stuff, and then I don't know. I feel like if I had never heard that news, the movie would still be okay.
Right.
But now that I've like heard that, I'm like, well,
I'm gonna have a terrible time trying to not think of any of this as it's going on.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that's ruined.
Damn it.
Like, and it takes a lot for something to get ruined for me. But I feel like Disney has done that. Congratulations, you have hereby ruined.
I mean,
some decent points of a movie for me.
I don't remember exactly what I said on our Star Wars Ranked episode, which, you can go back and listen to. But I might have to put Rise of Skywalker at the bottom almost. Like, with this stuff coming out,
It's an interesting retrospective.
With these new developments, right?
Yeah.
That should be a headline. New developments pave way to Rise of Skywalker being the worst Star Wars movie ever made. I don't know, guys. Here's an interesting question: Is it still better than Attack of the Clones with all this new information? Because honestly, it kind of seems like they should have just renamed the movie Attack of the Clones because it's still terrible.
It is
Attack of the Clone.
Yeah.
It is still better, in my opinion.
No, I will agree with you. I still like it more than Attack of the Clones.
I just did that all in my head, and I can confer that it's still better, but
not by much.
Because at least Rise of Skywalker doesn't have like terrible acting.
Yeah, not by a wide margin.
No, it's still good, but it's
on to some more lighthearted Star Wars news. We we watched the first 2 episodes that are currently out of the final season of the Clone Wars, and we're going to talk about them for you.
I don't even have the names in front of me, but yeah,
the Bad Batch and
right,
Bad Batch 2,
6s and 7s, or I don't know. They're all numbered. So. And Echo's crazy, so it's 6s and 7s.
The second one was something about Echo.
Distant Echo.
Distant Echo. Yeah.
So what do you, Mike? You haven't watched the entire Clone Wars series.
No, I just jumped in blind.
What do you guys? I'm liking them a lot so far.
No, I mean I understand that it's.
I was not expecting this
season,
at all.
So it needs to pick up a little bit.
I mean, I was a little lost because I don't know who the hell Echo is, but
yeah,
I'm familiar with Echo, but I mean, like, it's like they're basically rebooting the series. So, like any reboot, it's gonna be a little slow to start out with. But
right.
I don't even think it's much slow, really.
It's not.
I wasn't expecting.
But I'm
this.
waiting for the action to really pick up.
I thought we were gonna jump headlong in with the Jedi stuff. But I'm fine with this clone stuff. I like the clones a lot, so I'm glad. And I like the Bad Batch, too. I think they're really cool.
I like how...
The Dollar General Predator main characters.
That's one thing I was going to say was... I like how these clones can still be, like, individualized.
Yeah. That's
Well,
a good thing
even
with
more
the-
Was it the one like Rambo or something?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
even more so with the Bad Batch. They're individualized.
Right.
But even the main clones, I think they all have personality, which is, I mean, commendable in itself to D. Bradley Baker's voicing all of these guys and giving them all a personality.
Oh, he does
That's-
every single
He
one.
does every one. It's amazing.
Wow.
He's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Yeah.
someday I'm going to go back, but like for the sake of talking about these episodes, I'm going to continue with the final season. But you know, I do want to go back and watch, you know, everything else. But
so basically, the beginning. What I don't even remember the plot of the first one. They get the distress signal. Is that what it is?
They raid the Imperial Technology Center, or not the Imperial, sorry, Separatist, like, technology center or whatever on the planet that Admiral Trench is guarding.
Right.
And that's where they find the signal.
Right.
It's in there.
Of Echo, Captain Rex's
Or what
friend.
what Rex
they found like
perceives to be Echo and no one really believes
Yeah,
him.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the first episode. Is basically they're failing at their attempt to go into the Separatist Technology Center. So they call in the Bad Batch, which is a group of genetically modified or clones with favorable genetic modifications or mutations. Excuse me. So my first
They're
question.
the X-Men.
My first question is, do you think that they were intentionally mutated? Or is it just like they happen to mutate and then...
No, when you think about it, if you're building a clone army, you want the fastest, strongest, smartest clones.
Yeah, there's going to be
possibly
trial.
have.
There's going to be like you're going to trial and error on specific traits.
And that's what I imagine is they had trial and error on all these clones, and they just made them an elite super spec ops group that only gets called in when stuff really.
So you think
needs
that
to-
they were intentionally made?
Yes, I believe that
Yes.
they were intentional.
I wasn't clear on that because they said favorable mutations, and we've seen clones with unfavorable mutations, you know. So I wasn't sure if that was like they were just happened to be, whoops, we fucked up on this one, but look, he's fucking 9 feet tall and has muscles the size of a brick shithouse. So we'll just throw him into the clone army.
That one. Are you talking about the one of the bad group?
Yeah, Wrecker.
Yeah. I like him.
My favorite's Hunter. I like him a lot.
I don't remember which episode it was.
Hunter's Rambo, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But I remember they were coming up an elevator. I watched this stuff at 4 a.m. Not gonna lie, falling in and out of sleep there. But they were coming up an elevator, and they're like, "Yeah, we got to keep it stealthy." And then they just open the doors, and there's all the droids there,
Yeah.
and they just start shooting. And then
Wrecker just runs out and starts knocking heads together.
got a little carried away or something. He
I
says.
laughed pretty hard during that scene because a couple of droids fell off the tower,
Yeah.
and you can hear them falling. They're like, "Why?"
I feel like one of my predictions with it is Rex isn't. He's getting along with like maybe one of the group, which is Hunter, but I feel like the rest of the group doesn't trust Rex, and Rex doesn't trust them. So I have a feel like we never hear about the Bad Batch after the Clone Wars. So I have a sneaking suspicion that Rex is going to get them all killed because they're going to try to get him killed. I was talking to Sean a little bit about this. Rex in episode 2, is it episode 2? He asks them, who do you guys report
Yeah.
to? And they're like, that's a good question, because they don't even say who they report to. So I have a feeling like they're going to double cross him, and then he's going to have to like get them all killed or kill them or whatever.
The second episode, they follow the signal to try and rescue Echo, and then that happens.
Yeah, they find
General
Echo.
Skywalker goes with them this time. So,
Which there was an interesting part about that episode.
oh yeah,
is, him talking to Padme, and then he comes out and gives Rex his helmet, and he's walking away, and Obi-Wan goes, "Did you at least say hi to Padme for me?" And he like turns around and like smirks at him, and I was like, Obi-Wan knew this entire time, didn't he?
he probably didn't know that they were married. Like,
No.
he knew they were romantically involved.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, they were best friends.
Well,
I mean,
It's obvious in
Good
like
on-
Attack of the Clones that like he's infatuated with
yeah.
her. Like,
Which, good on Obi-Wan for not just barging into the Jedi Council room and be like, we gotta cut his dick off or something.
I mean,
Which he probably should have, to be honest.
Obi-Wan had Satine, so he
Satine.
knows exactly what it's like.
Yeah, and that's what I love about the Clone Wars, is they gave Obi-Wan Satine, so you understand why he's not like bitching at Anakin, like,
Right.
hey, you can't do this, because he's like,
I mean,
I've been
he
there,
is he is telling him it's like you can't do that, but
But he's also
he's letting
not
it go.
stopping him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's just like, like if it comes back on me, I told you not to, so they won't bitch at me. But I'm not going to stop you from doing.
I feel like that was being having Qui-Gon as a master too, because Qui-Gon is kind of like not a rogue Jedi, but you know he kind of does things by his own
he
book.
bent the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely bent the rules.
I forget what we were saying, but they do find Echo at the end of that episode.
Yes, where he's Winter Soldiered.
Oh, I was mentioning to Aaron in the first episode, because we know that Order 66 is happening in this season. At least we think it is.
Yeah.
And I was telling Aaron, I would love to see a series of the Bad Batch just going around killing Jedi.
Oh,
I mean, because it's like, the clones successfully kill a lot of Jedi in the first place, and these guys are like crazy strong, you know, intelligent and everything.
Maybe that's why Rex kills them.
Maybe. Oh, maybe. Well,
maybe it wouldn't work on Rex.
I was gonna say
No, because Rex is in Rebels.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Rex takes his chip out.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's why he
Well,
kills
actually,
the Bad Batch.
In Rebels, it says he takes his chip out, but in an episode of the Clone Wars, whenever they're fighting the Zillo Beast, they release an EMP to kind of mess with its like internal electromagnetic system, and Rex gets hit by that EMP. So my suspicion is that fried his chip. But he says he removes his chip in Rebels, so I'm not exactly sure how, but we do know that Rex does not fall under Order 66.
Okay.
Maybe he just removes it entirely after.
Yeah, like, because I feel like that would be pretty compelling. Like, Rex is on a mission or whatever, and then Order 66 happens, and all of his clones, like, turn on the Jedi, and he's just like, what is going on here, you know? I mean, that was a whole arc in the Clone Wars with Tup, his chip malfunctioning and everything like that. But yeah, I hope that they do something like that. I'm really curious. I think that the clone stuff in the Clone Wars series is the best stuff.
No, yeah, I mean, the Clone Wars is a great series. And I'm glad that they brought it back to finally close the open door that was left by...
What was season... I mean, I don't care about spoilers.
The ending of season 6 is very...
Is it just open?
It's Yoda going... it's Yoda going to the source of, like, the Force and basically learning how to Force Ghost.
Oh, okay.
It's like a trilogy of episodes of him doing that, and then that's the end of the series.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so there's not a lot of closure to be had there.
Yeah.
So I think that, you know, with the, you know, revival and everything, I think that's great that they're like, yeah, we kind of didn't really resolve everything, so we're gonna do that in our own final series.
What was it? Was it canceled for like lack of viewership?
I'm not sure.
I honestly can't remember
Okay.
what it was canceled.
I mean, I obviously wasn't watching it at the time. I knew it was on, but I don't remember ever hearing what the reason was.
Yeah, so what do you guys think is going to happen in the next episode? So Rex found Echo. I thought maybe that was like a vision or something, like it wasn't actually happening. Because Echo blows up on the Citadel. So, like, I want to know how Echo got there in the first place. And, you know, if he's going to survive their extraction of him. And, like, what do you guys think might happen after that?
Well, I mean, Darth Maul got cut in half and fell down a reactor shaft, so... It's pretty presumed.
Yeah, but he looked perfectly fine.
No. He had like a mechanical limb.
I'm talking about Echo.
Shoulder. Yeah, I'm saying that Echo had a metal arm entirely all the way up to his shoulder. I'm pretty sure one of his legs was metallic. He had like a chest plate and like breather tubes. He was not fine.
I guess I wasn't paying
He's
close
half
enough
built.
attention.
Like that's why I said he's Winter Soldier. Is because
I was gonna say I remember
rebuilt
being
him.
hooked up to a lot of machines.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
he was in
rebuilt Echo.
He was in a cryostasis thing, and they let him down whenever
Yeah.
they got there. So
I honestly don't remember how the episode ends.
that's how it ends. Is,
Okay.
Rex talking to Echo is how the episode ends.
Okay.
So Rex and I forget the name of the smart Tech, I think is his name.
Brains.
So Rex and Tech are inside, and they get Echo out. Anakin and the rest of the Bad Batch are outside, like fending off Admiral Trench's attack. So I guess they'll have to deal with that in the next episode.
I feel like I don't have enough knowledge to really predict anything.
That's fair.
Like, I don't know where it's really heading.
When it comes to the Clone Wars, I'm just like, just let it happen. I'll just wait and see. I mean, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, the next episode comes out tomorrow. So are we? You think we're done with those?
Yeah, we're done with Star Wars, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah. Altogether, we're done. We're never watching another.
Just never.
piece of Star Wars.
We're never speaking.
I've
of it
had
again.
enough.
Well, like I said, we have the stuff they're doing on Disney Plus with Star Wars is good.
Yeah.
Like The Mandalorian and The Clone Wars, in my opinion, that's some good stuff. So, while the movies are lackluster, I'll say generously, I'm enjoying the content that they're putting out on Disney Plus, at least. Well, we have a recommended movie that we all watched.
Yeah, I'm very curious to hear your guys' stuff. I chose a movie called Rockstar. It has
2001, I believe.
Yeah, 2001. It has the main character being Chris Cool, who is played by Mark Wahlberg.
Marky Mark.
Basically, an overview or synopsis, whatever you want to call it, of its character. He is a mega fan of the band Steel Dragon, to the point where he is in a tribute band. Don't call it a cover band. And he takes that shit very seriously.
Don't call it.
And that's a
does.
direct quote.
Yeah.
His girlfriend's played by Jennifer Aniston. In the midst of Friends was very obvious to me now, because I haven't watched this movie since I watched
How
Friends.
long did Friends run?
94 to like 2004.
Okay. I wasn't sure how long it was.
Somewhere
Maybe
around there.
2000s.
Yeah. But yeah, basically, to, I guess, like I said, he's in a tribute band to this band, Steel Dragon, and their singer decides to leave because
Was it leave or were they kicking him out?
both. No, they were kicking him out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is weird. Like, you would think, I mean, obviously for the movie purposes, this is how it went down. But in real life, you would kick the person out and then hold the auditions. But
Right.
you wouldn't just spring that on somebody, because that's how you get the reaction you get in this movie. Yeah, he gets a call for an audition from the guitar player, which is weird. I don't think that would happen. But
Usually it's the drummer who takes care of that.
right.
Yeah, basically he just gets
Reviews.
an opportunity to join the band, and then he gets it, and we kind of follow his life in the band.
Yeah. Me personally, I'll just give my... Like, I picked it, obviously I've seen it before myself. Being a person that loves hard rock and metal, I've always loved the soundtrack and everything. And more specifically, the actual songs that were written for this, all the Steel Dragon tunes. Yeah, so I love this movie. I don't know if it ever is going to translate to you guys the way it translates to me. So I'm very curious.
What did you think, Aaron?
I enjoyed it.
Did you?
I did. It was a coming of age story for the 30-year-old lives at home rocker and all of us.
I don't know if they ever actually say his age, but
No, I don't think so.
I never realized how old
Yeah.
like Mark looks.
Yeah,
looks very
it's
old.
like going back and watching the Raimi Spider-Man, and you see
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire and Joe Manganiello, and you're like, they're 35.
Their teach.
Yeah.
I literally just watched. Side note, because you brought it up. I just watched Nostalgia Critic. He's doing a Spider-Man month, and he just did the first Spider-Man, and he talks about how their teacher at the beginning looks younger than
Yeah.
Tobey Maguire and
Yeah.
what's his name?
Like,
Frankly.
I love that in early 2000s movies where they're like, this is believable, and I
Right.
don't understand how we believed it
I don't
when
know.
we were younger.
Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, Tobey Maguire is like 17, right? And then we reach the age of 17 and we're like, fuck. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
I
Mark
thought I'd look 30 by now.
Mark Wahlberg has to be, I don't know, at least in his 30s in this movie,
Yeah.
I would think.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston probably was close to that too, but she at least looks a little bit younger.
Well, she doesn't age at all.
Right. Well,
So.
she's 50 something now, and she looks
She still
30.
looks 30.
So,
But I liked it too. I mean, it wasn't anything crazy great,
Yeah.
but I liked it.
No,
I thought it was a good
It was a
time.
nice story. Had some interesting characters. Peter Pettigrew made his.
I thought that the story was kind of weak halfway. Like, the conflict was just kind of lame.
There really wasn't anything that I was like, yeah, you need to go back to it. Like, there was just nothing.
I've realized, because I don't even know how long it's been since I've watched this movie, but it's kind of one of those things you remember it fondly. Kind of the same thing last week or last episode that you had. You're like, I don't know if I'm going to like this as much as I did back then.
Yeah.
And I definitely, probably because I'm more versed in film now. Like, I didn't watch a lot of movies when I was younger, so like I thought, oh, this is awesome, But there's some bad, I don't know if I want to say bad acting, but some like bad plot or
It's a little contrived.
yeah, like the time jumps during the band, like when he's in the band.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I guess we're here now.
Yeah, it just kind of yeah. So everything's fine, and then it has that montage, and then everything's not fine. And then we jump another 6 months.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we had 2 time jumps in like not even 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was like, meh. It was like kind of trying to rush towards the end.
Here's a good story. Oh, now he's in the band, so oh shit, I guess we just have to jump 3 years.
But it also felt really long. Like, it felt too long to me.
Yeah.
Like, it could have been shorter by like probably 20 minutes, and I feel like it would have been better.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, there was.
I found myself feeling that too.
There was a couple things where I was like, this wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
like if they would have cut out one of the sets or whatever,
Yeah.
it would have been fine.
Well,
But-
there's a couple times where they repeat, like they use the same song, and I'm like, all right, we don't need to hear that one again.
Yeah.
Like, it's like literally the same section too. So
There's one thing that I did not like, and that was there was no conflict resolution between him and his brother.
yeah,
Like, they're just dicks to each other, and then that's it.
and once
but, like-
once Mark Wahlberg becomes famous, he's like, oh yeah, now we're cool.
Yeah, like, and he tries to like get in and like hang out with his brother, but there's never like I expected that moment where he's like, where it's him coming up to him and he's like, hey, he's like, I'm proud of you, no matter like how I act towards you.
Yeah, you
blah,
never
blah.
gave up on your dream, and now you
Yeah.
made it. Yeah,
Yeah, and like I wanted that to happen,
Yeah.
and it never happens, and I was like, oh, so he's just a dick to his brother for the rest of his life. Yeah, that's my only real complaint. I mean, there, like Sean already brought up, like some of the story was just,
yeah.
it was entertaining though.
I liked I mean, I did like Mark Wahlberg's character, but I liked his girlfriend a lot more.
Yeah.
Like, Mark Wahlberg was like a man-child.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And it worked out for him because he got to be in the band and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, whenever he's, like, still living at home and everything,
Yeah.
and he's, like, hardcore serious about this tribute band that he's in, it's like, his friend said, it's like, you gotta get a grip on reality, man. It's like...
Yeah, where does...
Oh, and then it had that throwaway scene where it had, like, some temp job where he, like, fixed printers or whatever.
Yeah, like that was never explored.
Yeah, they
ever
had-
again.
It was only because they basically had to be like, he's not a complete shitbag.
Yeah, that's
He has a
basically all
job.
they had to do.
Yeah, like they had to have it in there just to show you that.
He's like, yeah, he's chasing this dragon, but he also does work, so,
Yeah,
I mean, he's at least doing something.
right.
And that was, like, kind of cheap to me. They're like, he works.
Yeah. So, Aaron, you had said during the movie that you felt like it was basically the same story as what became of the band Journey.
Yeah,
And
with Arnell.
Arnell.
Pineda, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember his name.
It's almost like the same exact story.
Which is funny because it is, and that happened way like several years after this movie came out.
Like probably around 2009.
Yeah,
2010,
like
probably.
Yeah.
So about 10 years after this movie came out, almost the same exact thing happened.
So what this movie's actually based on, like, I guess nobody wanted to sign off on making it about the actual band, but it was actually about Judas Priest. There was a brief period where Rob Halford had left, and this guy named Tim Owens, I think is his name. They call him Tim Ripper Owens because like he just sounds exactly like Rob Halford, and like they saw a video of him and they called him to come in the band. So it's literally his story. Just nobody wanted to ride off on it.
Huh.
So the parallels there is that Rob Halford, as we know now, is a gay man. His get up in leather and all that stuff, that was because he was gay. And it became like this big staple for heavy metal. But you saw like some outfits in there, like the one that was all leather and everything.
Yeah.
That was straight Rob Halford.
Yeah,
like
the one that he was like saying about like he never has red lapels. There's no green in the embroidery.
Well, the one where they go into the mansion museum.
Yeah.
Oh, the Village People.
Yeah, the Village People.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that. I never thought about that, and I was like, oh, it makes total sense now.
Yeah, I don't want to give you guys too much during the movie to like, I don't know, make you think too much, but
yeah, because Sean and I were talking, we were like, oh, is that the Village People? And then Sean's like, oh, they're making references to the Village People all over.
They literally, that would have been like the fourth or fifth one if they would have brought it up.
Yeah, that's essentially what this story is. Funnily enough, as much as I like this movie, the rock community absolutely hates this movie because they looked at it as like a big joke to their lifestyle, profession, whatever you want to call it.
Really?
Yeah, like nobody likes this movie.
It paints them badly.
It does. Yeah.
So Mark Wahlberg was just acting a man-child to illustrate that they can't get over themselves enough to accept someone else's version of their lifestyle.
Like, literally, the villain of the movie is the rock star lifestyle.
Yeah.
So I can understand why they'd be upset about
that.
Yeah,
it's not like they're... I don't know. I don't think they attacked anybody specifically that was in the movie.
No.
But nobody ever talks about the movie.
I didn't even know it existed until you had suggested it. So and I couldn't find it anywhere. Like I was looking it up on like IMDb and everything. Couldn't find it on there.
Really?
I had to go to Mark Wahlberg's page to find it.
Oh wow!
And then like Googling it finally took me there. But
I was gonna say your first Google didn't take you to that movie.
I mean, did you put a space in between Rockstar?
Oh, maybe that's the problem.
That might be why. But
so redacted. People have heard of this movie before.
But I really liked all the music.
Mm-hmm.
I like the song, the one song the best probably, wherever it's the first time that the actual Steel Dragon like
Bobby.
Huh?
When
I think it's Blood Pollution. Bum 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 bum.
Yeah.
Or Stand Up and Shout.
Yeah, Shout, that one.
Yeah,
I like that one a
Shout.
lot.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that we got to hear that like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, I mean, and if you go, I don't know if you want to, but anybody that knows this movie or doesn't know this movie and wants to hear the actual songs, like on the soundtrack for this movie,
we're going to sing them for you right now.
All the Steel Dragon songs are full-length songs that they recorded.
Yeah.
So
just like the Scott Pilgrim soundtrack.
Yeah.
Like all their songs, they recorded all of them and they're on the soundtrack. But...
So another thing that I didn't really care for is that it had very much early 2000s, like 90s humor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it was 2001.
Yeah. But like the gross out. I mean, it wasn't even gross out really, but it was like the sex humor and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, the funny parts of the movie, it's supposed to be the funny parts, but it's like they're just talking about sex and stuff, and it's like, okay, it's kind of low hanging, and that stuff doesn't usually
The cliche woman with a dick thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just like,
that actually was pretty funny.
but like whenever he's interviewing after getting, it's a press conference after he's officially going to join the band, and they're like, how do you keep your vocals up? And the guitarist that brought him on is like, he eats a lot of pussy or whatever. And then it cuts to his parents in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And
I
she's like, learned from his dad. And I'm like, this is fucking gross. like
I know you guys reacted pretty quickly to that. Did you see the brother's reaction?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was like, come on.
It's like, oh my god.
But like shit like that. And the brother too, he kept calling Chris a fag and everything. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's like, okay. It's a little dated now, but those were really the only two things that I didn't like was
yeah.
and the very end whenever he brings up the guy on stage, I thought it was kind of nice, but it is so cheesy.
Oh yeah.
It's like so incredibly cheesy to me.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I get it. and he just leaves. Like they would let him leave. It's like, you're locked into a contract, bud. You're not allowed to just leave.
Yeah.
That and
I gotta take a piss.
Yeah.
See ya.
That and like the band would just stop, be like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Like him bringing on the guy and like duetting with him is one thing.
I mean, bands do that.
Yeah. But if fucking Chris or Ziggy or whatever, Ziggy.
No, I thought it was Izzy.
I think it is Iggy. I think it's Iggy.
Is it Iggy or is it Izzy?
It might be Izzy. I don't freaking know.
Either way,
remember. Johnny Five.
So he just leaves. They're gonna be like, what the hell? Who's this guy just coming up and singing with us, you know? Like, they're not just gonna, like, let that happen. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe they would, because it kind of painted these guys as super shallow assholes, so they might do that. But
Yeah, I don't know. So, random but interesting fact, I just glanced at the back of the box here. It's directed by Stephen Herrick, who did Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Oh, really?
Really?
Yeah.
I was like, I read Stephen Herrick and I was like, what has he done that I don't know?
So that's an interesting fact. Something I want to throw out there in case anybody's
I have one question for you.
Okay.
How did you find that on Blu-ray? I feel like that's one of the most obscure.
I bought
movies that
it
you can find
online.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Because I know like they don't make every movie on Blu-ray,
Yeah.
so I was like, how did you find that? Like we found RV on Blu-ray, and that was hard.
I've
enough
seen that
trying
a
to
few
find
times,
that.
I think, myself, though. Like in person.
I've never seen it in person in Blu-ray.
Really?
Never witnessed the Blu-ray version.
But if you were to find it anywhere, I bet you'd find it in a $3 bin.
Yeah.
probably.
Well, I think
mean, that's just because it's an old movie. I'm not trying to like rip on the quality of the movie or anything.
Yeah.
It's just old. That's what they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this one I found on Walmart, like online for like $5. But it actually came with a digital code, which is weird.
Oh yeah.
But so I have it digitally as well. But so some random facts or some I don't know if you call them Easter eggs, but the cast of this movie, the two big ones are Zakk Wylde, guitar player of Ozzy, his own band Black Label Society. Funny story about him is he didn't have a beard in this, and that's actually the last time he's been seen without a beard since then. He's had a beard down to his belly ever since then.
Wow.
So funny weird fact that I know.
It's funny that you say that these like rock stars and like these rockers are in the movie, but every like the community or whatever,
Yeah.
they don't really care for it.
Yeah, they kind of
It's
kind
kinda
of
strange
bash
that way.
they bash Zach, and the other one is Jason Bonham, John Bonham's son from Led Zeppelin, John's from Led Zeppelin, but like I didn't know that one for years later because I didn't know who he was, but just interesting. I don't know who the bass player and the other guitar player, the one that recruits Chris Cole. I think he's just an actor. I don't think he's actually a musician, but
Yeah, that's why they don't give a lot of the other guys screen time.
Yeah,
because they're not actors.
yeah, anytime Zach talks, you brought up an interesting fact I never caught on to. I think it was you, maybe, I don't know. The fact that Zach Wilde's character is just American.
Yeah, like
things that he does is American.
Yeah,
like,
the rest of the guys, or at least I think, are British.
Yeah, they're all.
And even
I mean, Jason Bond literally is British.
Yeah. But even Chris, like as we said earlier, he brings on this persona of Izzy to, I don't know, and he speaks in a British accent, but he doesn't even keep it up the whole time.
Sometimes,
he doesn't even keep it up the whole time.
Yeah.
So that was another thing. Was like, what the fuck's going on here? But
yeah, I don't know if that was intentional. Like, oh, hey, this is a British band, so I'm gonna like.
Yeah. So like he was doing that, but yeah, the other guy's just like American. He's just speaking in English.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're all speaking English, but he's speaking without an accent.
Yeah, he's got, you know, I don't know what it is, a Texan accent or something. I mean, he has a shotgun at one point.
Yeah,
like,
he shoots a sign
Yeah.
out of a tour bus.
My biggest complaint with the movie, the set.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think there's a lot of money behind this movie.
No, but they use the same, like, domed venue 3 times, and we're meant to believe it's a different place each time.
And just to clarify, because I was confused when you first said that, you're talking about the outside shot of it.
Yes.
From, like, the helicopter or whatever.
Yes, but no, not only that. It's in Pittsburgh when he sees them for whatever tour they're doing.
Yeah.
And they put all their flyers on the cars. Then it's seen again when they're racing the Batmobile and Magnum PI's car. It's in the background, the same exact building. And then there's the helicopter shot in the third act that goes right to it. And then they're playing in there. And I was like, are we meant to believe this is a different place?
Yeah.
In a different state that looks exactly the same? I was like, nah,
I'm not saying that this is what they intended, but I mean, bands do come back basically like once a year to places. So I mean,
oh yeah, but show me a different.
I know.
Show me a different place. Don't use the same exact. Like, listen, you can use the same stage set because, like you said, they bring their stages.
Yeah,
in.
I mean, they essentially all look the same inside.
Use the same inside interior that you're shooting all the shots where they're playing for.
But it wouldn't have been that much money to shoot two different buildings.
Go shoot outside Mellon Arena or something like that, and then go to I don't know. I don't care.
I don't think Mellon Arena was
go
actually
to Three
around.
Rivers Stadium after that, and then just like no one's gonna care. Like Pittsburgh people will know,
yeah,
but nobody else is gonna know. They're just gonna be like, man, whatever.
Yeah,
we don't care.
It's one of those little things, you know.
Yeah.
Another thing that whenever they were like. Jennifer Aniston's like in the car with the other wives and girlfriends.
Oh yeah,
that is like such a fucking terrible scene. Because
yeah.
they're like, oh, you just gotta let him, you know. They don't say this, but they're implying it. They're like, you just gotta let him fuck the girls, you know. It's fine. We're the ones that are actually with them. It's okay. And it's like, what the hell am I watching? This is terrible.
I think that's another aspect of why the rock community disliked the movie. Because I mean, that happened in the 80s, which this movie takes place in. But
well, for most of it.
Yeah, well. But that really doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, I was just like, oh my god, this is
like,
terrible.
Maybe one or two like you see on the street, you're like, all right, you know, whatever. But like as far as those parties go where like everybody's naked
and that's another thing. They had that like orgy sex scene.
Yeah.
And they both leave it separately, but they, you know, arrive to their hotel at the same time. And they just ignore that it happened.
Yeah, they
both got messed up and
yeah, but like
no,
there's no resolution to that.
No, there's not.
Like that could have been like the beginning of her realization. It's like, oh, maybe this isn't like the best thing to be doing or whatever. But it's like you and Chris had sex with like 10 people, probably.
Also,
probably.
I want to point out that his brother keeps talking about like well, a lot of people were telling me, they're like, you don't write your own songs, you just put on somebody else's clothes and act like somebody else. He never gets past that, because by the end of the movie, he's Chris Cobain, and is literally dressing like, and has his hair like Kurt Cobain, and is singing 90s-esque songs like Kurt Cobain.
Well, Kurt Cobain was a grunge artist, so it wasn't anything like Kurt Cobain.
Well, no,
but and that's the thing. Whenever he actually wants to do that, he's like, "Oh, I made some songs, and here's an album cover art I was thinking about." He gets pulled aside, and it's like, "Listen, buddy, you're here to fucking sing the songs and everything. It's like you're not here to be a part of our creative process or whatever." And I don't know, which
in that sense it almost brings the band into the villain role, really.
Yeah, I think that the band was always in the villain role.
Yeah,
really, because they're the one that corrupts him and everything. And
they're the problem, not Bobby Beers.
Yeah,
or whatever his name,
Uncle Bobby B.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies, even though I definitely see a lot more.
No, don't get me wrong. It's a good movie.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, in my own realization, like, it's film wise, it's not like
it's flawed.
What I thought it was.
It's a guilty pleasure for you.
Yeah.
We all have those.
I don't like to use that term, but essentially, yes.
RV is my guilty pleasure movie.
RV is a classic.
And Paul Blart Mall Cop 2.
Well, that's not crazy.
No, I'm kidding.
He's not, though.
I've never seen the Paul Blarts.
No,
I saw the first one in theaters.
I'm kidding. They're not good. They're fantastic.
No, it's fine. But what would you guys rate this one?
I would rate it 6.5 out of 10. I would say it was highly entertaining. Story was a little lacking. But that's that's about it. 6.5 is a good, nice, like, that's a movie that I can just pop in and just sit there and just enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with a 2.5 out of 5. So it would be kind of like a 4 out of 10, 4.5 out of 10 on that scale.
I was
basically because I was entertained as well, but it's a little long. It could be shortened up. Some of the things that happen, the gross out humor or whatever, just didn't really work for me. And I thought the music and everything was. I'd be more inclined to just listen to the music than watch the movie.
Yeah.
I think some of the messages are a little garbled, so that's my reasoning behind that.
Yeah. I guess I'm gonna go. I'll go 6 out of 10. In my.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
I actually rated higher than you.
I know.
Wow. Well, this is your recommendation.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the fun thing I think about doing this, because some of us might realize that our favorites or whatever aren't what they once were.
Cinema gold. You still like it as much as you did.
Oh before. Yeah, but I mean the music is phenomenal. Yeah, I mean the soundtrack's insane. Like Kiss,
not the Beach Boys.
Not the Beach Boys.
That Beach Boys cover.
I gotta look that up to see who sings that.
Yeah, I had a problem with that at first, but whenever we were talking about it, it's like, oh yeah, they definitely were finding a hair metal cover of it.
Yeah,
to stick with the theme of the movie.
I'm about 99% sure that it's Van Halen, because.
I was just about to say I'm not sure if it was, because I didn't hear David Lee Roth's voice.
It's hard to.
Yeah.
They actually played it a Beach Boys song at work the other day, and it was actually Rick that said to me, he's like, "Yeah, this is Van Halen." I'm like music knowledge god around my friends at least. They're like, all.
We thought your name was Mike.
Yeah. But like, he blew my mind. I never knew that they did Beach Boy songs. So that's why I'm thinking that it's him.
Yeah, could be, yeah.
Or them, rather. But yeah, 6 out of 10. Most of that's because of the music.
Yeah. I think the music is obviously the standout of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd be more inclined to just listen to the soundtrack than rewatch
Watch
the movie.
the movie.
Maybe some highlights from the movie.
Yeah, there's a couple good
like
stuff.
a music video.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever it was the music video stuff, it was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the recommendation, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Now it's Aaron's turn to round us out.
I don't even know if he's ready.
Yeah.
I have two in mind, but I'm not sure. Because I don't want you guys to like hate it entirely. Like I want to pick something that
I was pretty
that
nervous
you
to be
guys
completely
will
honest
actually,
with
like,
you.
watch and semi enjoy.
I think that Mike and I both took risks for our first one,
So
Take a risk.
shit, you don't want me to do that because the more risky one is one that you would have had to have seen the first one in order to understand the second one.
Wow.
So I am going to recommend that we watch Roland Emmerich's 1998 classic Godzilla.
Okay. Can we find that on Netflix?
Yes, it is on Netflix.
Okay.
It is.
All right.
I've still held off and not watched that, so there we go.
I'm glad that I saved it. Because I want you guys to be entertained and not want to kill yourselves. Because my second choice was 2010, the year we made contact. But you would have had to have watched 2001: A Space Odyssey prior to.
Yeah.
Because 2010 is a movie that literally like 90% of the world hates. But I love that movie.
So quick build up story to your recommendation for me. I've waited 21 years to watch this movie. Always wanted to see it as a kid. Couldn't find it anywhere.
You're in for a treat. I can tell you that much.
Because when I was younger, I used to watch like old school Godzilla movies. My mom could never figure it out. But what it was I like Power Rangers, and it was basically the same.
Oh yeah,
thing.
the Tokusatsu.
Yeah,
like whole genre.
But so yeah, like I always wanted to see it because I always liked retro Godzilla when I was very very young. So 21 years. Finally.
We are in for a treat.
I have seen part of it. I remember nothing.
Oh,
so I remember Matthew Broderick, and that's it.
He killed a guy, did you know? Actually, he killed two people.
Alrighty. Well,
we'll get into that.
If you don't want to be spoiled for, what year is that?
1998.
1998.
I always call it 99.
1998, Roland Emmerich, Godzilla. For our next episode, make sure to watch it because we will be having a spoiler discussion. Thank you guys for listening and putting up with my Aaron voice the whole time.
Are you saying that I sound nasally?
Hey.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
God, I hate everyone.
We appreciate it. Yeah, I guess we'll see you next time. Let us know what you thought about our movie recommendation. let us know what you think about RV and Ballpark. We'd love to know your thoughts.
We're not going to review them. We just want to know your opinions.
Let us know what you thought or what you think about the state of Star Wars right now and our Rockstar, our movie recommendation of this week. And we'll see you next time. So, bye.
Goodbye.
Peace.